Hey everybody, this is Renae from The Space Between, and you are listening to The Space Between podcast, the show that lets you listen to how the fans feel about the music, the art behind over 30 years of the Dave Matthews Band. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, I am welcomed with a guest that tells us their journey with the band, whether they have been with them 33 years, 10 years, 5 months, 1 day. Everyone has a different journey, and everyone found the band in a different way. So this week is like every week. I have not one fan, not two, but I have 3 fans on today. So I am going to let them introduce themselves, tell me who you are, where you are, and each one of you tell me just briefly, how in the world did you meet the Dave Matthews Band?
Oh, they just poked me.
Of course. Who's first? It's you.
Christine Muzzo. And I not met the band, but tuned into the band in 1996, actually. It was right when they released the Crash album. And before that, I was keyed into recently. And my friend and I from California, she and I, we've been friends for a really long time. Actually, her husband and my husband were childhood friends. And we used to go down there every summer, for a summer break.
Yeah.
And she and I were driving, and she's like, "Have you heard these guys?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I have actually." And so we were, trading stories and all of that. And it just kind of morphed from there. Mm-hmm. And actually that was the first concert that we went to was with our friends, John and Robin from San Diego. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
since 1996.
Yeah.
That seems like yesterday, but also it seems like a long time ago. Do you feel that? I mean, parts of me think 96 was forever, but also I really just don't want to believe that it was that long ago.
Yeah. When people say 30 years ago and they're talking about like 30 years ago, actually, in my head, I hear the 70s.
Right. I'm like, is it 1954?
Yeah, 30 years ago. Okay, I get it. And you're like, no.
I know. I have I don't know. I guess we've now reached the wise and mature age where 20, 30 years ago, you're like, no.
I'm like, wise and mature? Who are you talking to?
I mean, you. So tell me who's in the room with you. You have you have a daughter and you have a husband. So let's fight it out. Who's going to go first?
I'll go.
Oh, Mark.
Jumping in.
I'm Mark Muzzo.
I love that.
And I'm Christine's husband, Amanda's father. And my experience with the band back in 1999 was my first Dave concert at the Coors Amphitheater, San Diego, Chula Vista, actually, California, which is outside of San Diego. And it was a lot of fun. But before that, I heard, when Crash came out, just periodically I'd hear some of the tunes. And it was like, okay, but I'm into this and I'm into these other, bands.
Yeah.
But something about these guys, they were all around, had every instrument that you'd like, and got into it. And then we went to our first concert, and that was it. We started just going crazy with Dave.
Oh, wow. So tell me, Mark, what were you listening to in that time frame? Like what were you listening to?
Green Day, kind of punkish stuff, and then a lot of older stuff. Led Zeppelin, still a lot of rock, but R&B, jazz, smooth jazz, a lot of guitar stuff. So here you are, you got Dave. And when I first saw them, I was like, wait a minute, there's that instrument, there's that. That is so cool, and they have it all. And then they have those cool backup singers. Remember the ladies?
Yes, the lovely ladies.
Oh my God.
I'm so envious of them.
I miss them.
Well, I can bring them back. Dave, hire me and Christine.
Yeah. You might have to get me a little loaded to sing in front of anybody.
And some voice lessons for sure on my end. But I could do it.
Well, we got Rob. Come on, Rob.
But no,
yes.
It was such an all-around band that I liked them a lot.
Good,
and it was just fun. And then it just kind of went from there. But that's my deal.
Christine, what were you listening to when you found the Dave Matthews Band?
I listened to everything. I don't know that anything's off the table for me.
We were all over, Talking Heads to whatever.
I was a huge Talking Heads fan. Yeah. Huge Blondie, Duran Duran.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I have a story with that.
Okay.
OMD.
Duran Duran.
You behave. So I liked OMD, Tears for Fears. I mean, early Madonna. Mm-hmm. All of that. I mean, that's what was going on in,
Yeah, that's just what was going on. Yeah.
I mean, and, a lot of jazz, a lot of Al Jarreau and Miles Davis stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of different stuff.
I love that. So Amanda, tell us, you're the daughter, so you kind of grew up with Dave, would be my guess. Now, I don't know if that's true, but tell me, what did your childhood look like since your parents were big fans? And okay, now hold on. My first question is, what year were you born?
I was born in 84.
Okay, so you were small when, even in 96, like when it was starting to come out for your mom, you were still small. So that was just part of your childhood.
It was a part of my peripheral for sure. Like it's one of those things. Actually, yesterday I went for a drive and was listening to some music, and I was like, what the hell is this stuff on my playlist? Because I got deep, back 500 songs, right? And I started thinking about Steely Dan, because I have a lot of Steely Dan in my playlist. I remember the way my dad, there's this one song, Peg, right?
Yes, of course.
And I always used to ask my dad, what is this song? And he'd go, Peg. And I'd be like, what? And he'd be like, Peg. I wasn't hearing it right or something. Right. But it's just one of those things, Dave, too. We were just together so much. Us, my little brother, family road trips. We were really, really fortunate to be in a car together, for a while. And hearing all of that, there was just so many songs that I knew the lyrics to that I didn't even understand that that's who it was.
Right.
Later on, there was a trip that I took where my mom blared it, and I was not really in the mood for it. I would say about a year after that, I really listened to the lyrics of Gray Street, and it was one of the first times for me that something else outside of me explained how I was on the inside, on the outside, and it was a relatable moment for me that just kind of explained me to me. So
wow.
I think that's the first time that they really imprinted, I felt imprinted on, when I listened to them. And I think after that, I just took more of an interest. I'm a picker and a chooser, but really I can listen to them all day in my house and never stop it, fast forward, or change it. So
right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that story. And I love how you say they imprinted on you, because I've talked to a lot of people, but no one's ever put it that way. And I think that's really the perfect choice of words for what this band has done to all of us, is left an imprint.
It was that. It was just a time in my life, I think, where I really was searching for something to make sense. Mm-hmm. And it made sense. And it was oh my gosh, that's exactly how I feel. And wow, maybe I'm not the only person,
Right,
and
right.
if I'm not the only person, that means there have to be other ones. And so I think going to the Gorge, which was my first time live, going night one when I was at a place that I could appreciate it, because I had a couple experiences going where I don't think I was there yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I was at a place where I could appreciate all of it. And then I think it was my second time third night, and I was just laying there, and the collective like heartbeat of everybody, and they'd played that song that night, had just made me feel like I'm not by myself, and like I'm around other people who have like probably felt just like me. And I think like there might be something to this shit. Like I think Dave like probably feels the way I felt, man. So like I started reading lyrics. Like I even had like the old Crash album, you know, the ones with like the long CD thing that you can take out. And like I started to read the lyrics, and I was like, damn. So yeah, definitely. I did feel that way. I felt like, okay, well, I'm a fan of music, but I am specifically a Dave Matthews fan, and I knew that at that point.
And so, I love that. So let's talk about your first experience, only because I know how the story goes. So I know that Mom and Dad had like some rules when it came to the Dave Matthews Band. So Christine, tell me, like, what were your rules in your household when it came to seeing Dave?
Sing loudly.
Yes, sing loudly. But also, you had a couple of rules on like how old they had to be before they could go see him.
I did. And, you know, most of it was because, you know, a lot of concert venues are very adult-ish.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you know, when you have kids, you know this, when you have kids that are young, you want to go and just be an adult.
Yeah.
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 So, you know, until my kids were ready to see me as an adult, I just didn't want to open that door. And I did not want them exposed to that, especially at the Gorge. I mean, I took them to other concerts, other things, but the Gorge is a very different venue when you're camping and everybody's out there. And especially where we used to go in, well, when we started going to the Gorge, there was no Gold, Premier, Terrace, any of that. It was just general. No, it was general.
Really?
No, it's general camping.
I didn't know.
I wish that was how it still was. I wish.
Yeah, but you know, I'm old.
What were the perks of that? Like, I don't know him because I've only been once, and that was last year. So, what was the perk of it all just being kind of general admission?
It is raw over there.
Yeah.
We're talking naked. We're talking naked slip and slide. We're talking, look at Mark. He's like,
He did it, but you lived through it.
He did not make it slip.
I found it.
He found it multiple
And I had to ride my bike back and go, you can't believe what I just saw.
You got to come watch this shit.
It was pretty fun.
I mean, yeah, I would watch.
Right?
It was, but you know, those were the things I was like, I really don't want my kids exposed to being young.
Yeah. I understand. I understand. So when they turned 18, what, you know, Amanda, tell us what that looked like. Like, were you excited? Were you nervous? Like, what were your feelings going into it?
I didn't know what to anticipate. Like I'm sorry, but I still saw it as my parents' fun.
Sure.
So like,
sure.
I had also, by the time I went to the Gorge, I was at a point where I had just had my daughter, and I was a very anxious first-time mom. Like,
for sure.
Super anxious.
Of course,
so
that's normal. Yes.
It was the first time I left her for like a long period. And when we got there, the first day, it was just like cool. It probably, I don't know what everyone believes about serendipitous events, but there was a girl that was there that had a globe painted on her pregnant belly. And I was just like,
I don't know that I sent you that.
Cool.
I saw that.
I don't know.
The bananas that we took pictures of, guys dressed like bananas, they're so rad. But it was just like having that and knowing like, okay, well, like this is probably a family vibe. Lots of fun to have, right? That isn't so family oriented.
Right.
I partook in it. But
why not?
Overall, I remember, so like when we came back down the ramp that night, there was this girl that was like, she was eating nachos and like she had a lot of fun. Okay. So like when you walk back, it's like it's the crazy corral, right? So I don't know if you had that experience or got to go see it.
She did.
You didn't get to. Okay, when you walk back through that field, like under the things, you've heard of it. Like people, you sing, and it like gives me the chills.
The
like,
death march.
I love it though.
Shame.
The walk of shame. Everybody's mooing. Because we're like a bunch of cattle just going through.
Just
yeah, we did.
We did it for years. Oh yeah, everybody moved.
Well, why not?
I was definitely anxious, and I don't think that I knew like what to anticipate, but like this girl, for some reason, I have like a hard time being around tons of people sometimes. Maybe not all the time, but like sometimes. Yeah. And I definitely didn't know how to feel. Like I felt like maybe I'm not in the right place. Like I like these guys. I don't know if I love them yet. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I'm walking down there, and there's this girl that, bless her, she was by herself, and she was getting it in with some nachos, right?
My kind of girl.
Like, all the way down. It was really cool though, because there were people that looked out for her. They didn't treat her poorly. And then the guards that were standing on each side would check her at every single point that she got to, and were literally looking out for her. Good. And it made me feel comfortable. Like there was a time that we lost my mom that I was like,
imagine.
It wasn't my fault.
It was your fault.
It was
It was dark.
I've ever been so angry. But I knew that there were people around that would care for her. And
totally. She was taken care of.
I've had that from my first experience. So like, I don't even think that I'm just a fan of the music. I think that I really love the fans.
Oh my goodness.
Really
Yes.
Fans. Yeah. I love the community. And it's just, I felt comfortable since. So.
Oh, I love that so much.
So I have to have a caveat to that.
Well, you have a lot to tell us now.
Because in that story, so we're walking back, and we're at the furthest camp spot in general parking.
So 5 miles.
And somebody, like when they walk, they run.
Oh, and so people that are in shape. I can't do that.
Well, and Renae, I walk and I'm like, hi, what's everything going on?
Yes.
What's going on? I wonder.
You do need to be herded. I do.
So, yes. And so, I looked up and I didn't know where anybody was. And I just like, So I had to sit down for a minute and, drank the rest of whatever I was drinking. And I start walking by this campsite, and these people are like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. And they're like, you want a taco? And I'm like, I love a taco.
I love you.
I love a taco.
That's how I'm going to get kidnapped for sure, is somebody's going to offer me a taco.
And they're like, hey, and they're playing Flip Cup. I'd never seen this. And they're like, do you know how to play this game? And I'm like, no. You want to play? Yeah, I want to play. So, I played a couple games of Flip Cup, did actually very well, had a taco or two. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to like wander and find my camp. I don't know.
Did we find you? Or did
you found her.
Oh, I found her.
You came back to the campsite, and all I hear, because I drifted off to sleep, was, Amanda, help me, I lost your mom.
Oh, no.
I was breaking it down. I'm like, what the hell do you mean you've lost her? Like,
exactly.
Go find her. And then I took a minute, and I was like, she's going to be okay here.
Yeah, she's going to be just fine.
Go find your partner, bud.
Yeah.
So he gets in the car and goes taking off to find her. They come back like 5 minutes later, and she's all happy with her cup and her taco. And
that's good.
And that was the old standard camping.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Sorry, my phone just went off.
Who was the ringtone? Was that the Dave Matthews Band? Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I couldn't even believe that you had a Dave Matthews Band ringtone. That's
right?
Sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. So my next question is did you keep up with those people that you played games and ate tacos with?
No. I have no idea.
Oh, they were champs. There are some champion people at the Gorge.
There really are.
I'm sorry.
Liquid IV.
It is amazing.
Wow.
Those are my favorite people, by the way, P.S. at the Gorge that hand out liquid IV packets.
There really is. It's so smart, though. It's so smart.
Oh,
It's people taking care of people.
That's the best swag ever.
It really is, because you might not think you're going to need it, but I promise you're going to need it.
I'm so glad I got this.
Right. I mean, even if you're not a heavy drinker, just the fact that it's a lot of work, like,
and a lot of fun.
I mean, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of work, though. I will be the first to say that. And so you guys, you go to the Gorge every year. So when did that tradition start?
That started in 2004. I went with a friend of mine, and we went in my Subaru Impreza, like the little ones, with a 2-man tent, 2 coolers, and we didn't know what we were doing. And it was wonderful. We had the best time. Yeah, I mean, it was before the Cave B was like what it is now. That isn't even anywhere close to how it was when we went there. Yeah, it was just itty bitty.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was a great time. It was so much fun. And I think we laughed about that for, years afterwards. And every year from then, with the exception of a couple times.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
She was our next door neighbor. When did you invite us to the husbands?
Oh, okay. Husbands were not invited for it. It was a
girls only.
Girls only.
Yeah.
2000.
Wait, so when did you allow him?
I think it was 7 or 8.
No, let's look at this. When did he really actually want to go?
Jeff and I wanted to go.
Really?
You guys were just
weren't
gone. I mean, they were just.
And I know that as a kid that stayed home, listening to them being like, that was really nice.
It was home again.
Can't go. So it was a big year, the first year you got to go. So obviously that had to have been a different experience for you, Christine, because, know, it just is when you bring your spouse. So, obviously it was wonderful, but like, it's a lot more mouths to feed. It's a lot more packing, like, and it has become what you guys have now, which is kind of like the Mac Daddy of all camps. Like, you're having ribs and stuff. I mean, like, you guys you're not messing around anymore. How long did it take you guys to get to where you are now? Like, seasoned gorgies. You're gorgies.
Gorgeous.
I think the first year we had a motorhome in 2010. That really changed it.
Yeah, that changed everything.
Changed the game. It was the awning. I swear to you, it was the awning.
Yeah, it was nice. And the porta potty and the porta shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we take a couple porta showers, and
when they got them there, it was like life changing.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, so you only went 3 years. It took you 3 years to go, hey, we need an RV. From the time you went the first time till the time you got an RV. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that does change everything.
Did you guys take the Suburban? Or did you guys
No, we took the CRV. We took the ski car that we have.
Oh.
Yeah, and that thing was awesome. It didn't matter. When you were in standard, it was just tent everywhere.
Yeah.
And sure, everybody's running around. The nighttime's crazy, but everybody eventually falls asleep.
Eventually.
You're hoping they're soft falling asleep.
And Renae, back then, they're even now, if you go to standard, even just like gold and everything, everybody's making food. Everybody is feeding everybody.
You know how that is.
It is crazy.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's nice to share, but everybody, you'll never starve at the Gorge.
No, that's true. No. That's true. So
our camp, you get a pool. You get to have a pool.
You may or may not have a puppy in that pool.
Yeah, well, yeah. No.
Yeah, don't tell Live Nation that I plug in every year. We always stop right at one of the little porta potty areas where there's water. So
we plug in. We take a really long hotel.
You know what?
Last year was a little cool.
No,
when you showed up, it was a little cool last year.
Yeah, that my one year it was a little bit cold, so we didn't get the pool experience, but we shivered together and we had amazing food thanks to you guys. I mean, it kind of elevated our experience all together because I promise you, you know my feelings about the Gorge, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, but like I know that if you guys had been subtracted from that whole experience, I would have really fucking hated it. I really would have.
Well, we appreciate it.
I'm so sorry. But we had this similar experience at SPAC when we were in the pit. It's like, I don't want to do SPAC if I'm not in the pit. Why do that?
Even though these guys have the motorhome every year, I had tent camp every single year that I have
my son also.
every year.
Wow.
And
but we're all together.
My brother's more gnarly. He stayed in his hammock.
Oh my goodness.
He and his wife, they're all over. Everybody's all over. It's not just the motorhome. It's
right.
Everybody coming together. You know, it's really cool.
Right. So you've got some pictures of your camp from previous years. So guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the pictures of their campsite at the Gorge and what that looks like and how it's evolved over time. Now, Christine, do you still have pictures like from like long ago when you your first experience, you know, do you have those pictures? Good. Well, send those to me. Send those to me, and those will be in the video as well.
Because they were like snap camera.
Oh yeah. You probably got to scan them in now because they're not digital.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're not.
No.
They're not.
Yeah. No, we had to take the film to the film store, like a drugstore. God,
I know. And it's like,
what?
Yeah, it was like, you don't know what you're going to get.
No. I always thought that I would like to be one of those film developers because, you know, back before there were rules, they saw naked photos like all day long, and they would just be like, whatever. Random. That was random.
Here's your tip. Surprised.
So let's talk about the music, right? Because that's kind of the hook for all of us in why we're all here. And then we'll talk about the community because, you know, that's what this podcast is about, is the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. But we all found this band in different ways. Obviously, each of your stories are different in how you found the band. And what is it that keeps you hooked to the music? Obviously, this year, 2024, we're celebrating 33 years with the band, which is just hard for me to even say. So what has kept you going? And what has kept you going?
You know what's crazy is that I can look at each of the albums and how that has transpired and evolved in my life. I mean, even starting clear back with recently, and, you know, and I remember with Crash, and, you know, Amanda talks about me driving her around, and, you know, during those times, she was like in her teenage, you know, hell that we go through, and making her listen to two-step, making her listen to 41, and those kind of things. It's like, you know, you can get through this, and all of that music, even to today. I mean, I know you and I have talked about the new music, and, you know, looking for a vein. I actually, you know, I played that song for a group I was facilitating. And this was a group of people who were in drug and alcohol treatment, and talking about, you know, the difficulties in life. And you just, you know, just keep going. And, you know, it facilitates great discussion about what things mean to you, and they mean different things. Like, I mean, you can look behind me, and you know, we're at our kitchen table right now, and eat, drink, and be merry. And that was at my daughter's wedding. Your wedding cake, and yeah. And
that's my favorite tune, by the way.
Yeah, that's his.
Go hard every day, because tomorrow, you know.
That's right. Yeah. You never know. You never know.
You know, I used to have a whole lot of lyrics. Well, my office at work is all Dave Matthews, you know, posters. Yeah. And, you know, the whole, you know, dark clouds may hang on me sometimes, but I'll work it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, what a more beautiful thing to talk about in therapy than,
it's in my parenting everywhere.
Yeah, it's in her parenting everywhere. It is. I mean, my granddaughter was talking about being in class last week.
Two-step.
Yeah, and one of her teachers, they play music the whole time. Uh-huh. And she's like, you know what, Grandma? I don't think that the rest of the students knew who that was, but it was two-step, and I just started doing this.
She also knows.
She knows what? What was that?
She knows who's doing it because I'm a good mom.
Yes, you are, Mom. Yes, you are.
So, the music helped me raise my children. Yeah. The music helped me get through grad school. I mean, that whole lyric, dark clouds may hang on me. There is nothing worse than going to grad school and, being evaluated to your toenails and just coming out on the other side and knowing, in the tough times of life, you're going to be okay. You'll work it out.
Yeah. So and are you saying that you found strength in the music? In the lyrics?
All over the place. Yeah. All over the place. And the little songs, just the little tiny songs, as David says. It's just a little tiny song. It's just a little tiny song. Yeah. But I love those. I love all of that. I mean, it would be too hard to go through every little bit of, music and go, okay, this at this time meant this to me, and this meant this to me. The fact is that it has, art is supposed to have staying power. Mm-hmm. When you look at literature, all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but art should have staying power. It should be relevant. And the music is always relevant to me. Mm-hmm. Always. No matter what.
Is. That's right. So, Mark, what is it that keeps you hooked to the music after this long?
The hook is the memories, the rhythm of his tunes. I don't always listen to lyrics on bands. Trippin' Billy's is my favorite, of course, because what it says. Well, it's one of those tunes where I do a lot of things sports-wise and everything, and I try to live as I'm going to go ski half day tomorrow. You just do things, and it's just just some of his messages are really positive, and I've always liked it. And I think the memories, when I hear the tunes, I think of my kids, the dogs we've had, my family, all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
No, it's just good.
Road trip. Just a lot of cool things in the past, 30 years.
Yeah.
But that's really what gets me, it keeps it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda, what keeps you hooked?
I think I might mirror them to an extent, but I don't know. I've said this to you before. There's a day for every season, right? And I can definitely look at my life, and I can look at things that I've taken from the music that have, as human beings, we're supposed to shift. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to, if we get better information, change our mind, right? And I remember specifically, as an example, like even through quarantine, like I had a really, 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 really hard time through quarantine. Like I did not leave my home, I think, for about 6 weeks. I had just a hard time mentally. And I struggle. Like I had to make myself get another job in order to like push me out of that, to make me not afraid. And it's because I've had other issues before, right? So that it was just hard. But when Dave came out with Windows, and it was literally just because I trust his voice. His voice has become a place of solace for me in my lifetime. Yeah. Through different experiences that I've changed my mind, and it's worked out okay. And like, it was like this time of like, I think I'm going to paint my living room really bright blue today. And I'm going to listen to this, and I'm going to gnar like just all day. Right. And then tomorrow I'm going to leave because like there's hope for that. And I think I can be okay. And like, I've done it before, so why not now? And that's just like one example. So
Wow.
I come back because it's always there. I don't think there's like a leave, come back, like just kind of always.
Kind of like a heartstone, a heart place, a heartstone, touchstone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously Christine and Mark have been on this journey, on their journey, just a little longer than you have, Amanda. But let's talk about the community around the band, because obviously that this is what this podcast is about, is just I think that the fans of this band, for me, I can only speak personally, are more of a hook now because I'm so invested in it than the music is, and because I know that one day the music will be it will always have the music, right? But we won't always have the band. But something I will always have are the hundreds of relationships that I have built because of this music. And so, I thought it was so important to document what our fans are doing, the charities that they're contributing to, the hard work that they're doing, just the love that is expelled through so many of these fans. And so what does this community mean to you, and what have you found all because of the music?
Oh, are we talking about me?
Yeah.
We can talk about you.
No, well, you and I mean, how would we have met? I mean, seriously. Yeah. Right. And, I've had the fantastic opportunity of, calling my husband from the backseat of your car going, hey, so I'm with Renae.
No, wasn't it, hey, can I go to another concert? And I say, of course you can.
Did you really say that?
You did.
You really did? Oh my God. We had hijacked you in the back of my car. And we're like, we're going to more.
Yes, I said, so if I stretch it out a week, is it going to be a problem? And he's like,
but back to the community thing that you're asking. I mean, all these people she's met over the years, the ones that helped her in Mexico when she went through the plate glass door and hurt her Achilles and ruptured her leg, and all these people that I've met through Christine, they're awesome people. I mean, every one of them, I've got to say, even when they're at the Gorge and a little inebriated or whatever, I don't care. Hey, it's been great. The community is fun, and I would love to join it more, but some of us aren't retired yet.
Oh, well, Christine's not retired, and she does just fine.
I know.
Well, it's like my T-shirt said, my husband works so I can go to concerts.
Girl, I feel you. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you, husband.
Thank you. Yes.
But also, we work hard. We work hard.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But Amanda, what have you found in this community? Like, obviously you were introduced to the community early because of your parents, but have you been able to make connections on your own? I'm sure you have, obviously, but what does this community mean like to you?
I make friends every single time I'm at an event. Like I do. And we find each other or we don't, if we run in or we don't, but that's the way life works. It's actually mended a couple of things for me. I get along really well with guys. I've been that way my whole life. I make friends easier with guys. I view them more as a safe space. I've been a little challenged when it comes to women and trusting, but the specifically female Dave Matthews community, just watching them love my mom and truly do what they say and back up what they say, because they're living maybe not the same exact way, but maybe somewhere along that thread, just loving her that way has been really cool for me to watch, and it's kind of helped me change my expectation of female relationships.
So I love that. Oh, that just pull on your strings, Mama. Oh my gosh.
I might leak
I just think they're different women. I think they're different women, and I love that. So
I love that. And that's what so many people have found in this. And so I feel like it's something that we can't talk enough about, is when we just see things like this, see people loving on people with no expectations in it, right? We're just here to love on you. And that's rare, I feel like, these days.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool
amazing.
to find that many people that have a value that way at the same time is pretty rad.
It is. So let's talk about weddings. I know that you guys have had some amazing weddings in your family. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to get to see a lot of the beautiful things that this family has done when it comes to weddings. And so who wants to lead the story? We've got 2 different weddings, and I want to talk about both of them. So, I mean, Amanda, let's talk about yours. Or do we want to talk about y'all's? I mean, we can talk about whatever.
I don't know. My wedding was pretty great. I wouldn't say it was like Dave Matthews themed, but it was so funny how many people thought that, because it was just like, it was everywhere. And like, it was early COVID times, right? Like when we're just barely all getting out of quarantine. We don't quite know what to do yet.
Yeah.
I swear to you, when that music came on at my wedding, it was like everybody's a little freer and everybody just like the roof comes off, right? I have this theory that like, I don't think I ever want to see another band in my life if there is a roof at the vicinity that I'm going to, because I think that human beings are different when the roof's off. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the Dave music started playing, it was like the proverbial roof was off. Like everybody was just themselves, right?
Let me back up there. So all of her procession, before you walk down the aisle, I hired 2 guitarists, and they played all Dave Matthews music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where Are You Going was what played when I walked down the aisle. And I was a little worried that people may misconstrue lyrics. I really didn't even care at the end, though. But like even I just gave up. My aisle runner, though, like that was my sister-in-law wrote out an entire song on it. There were just so many. Like even our first dance, like my brother's first dance with my mom was Sledgehammer. Like there, and it's so cool because it was like all deep and clingy, and like for them it was like right, like totally different energy. But I love it. And I think it's so appropriate because that's the way it is. That's the way it is for us. But I don't know. Like we had lyrics. We had just little things everywhere throughout my entire wedding. But that's because that's how I am. That's how we are. I mean, I got engaged at the Gorge. Like, I don't know.
Wow. Ooh, so let's talk about that. Did you have a clue that it was going to happen?
We did.
You did? She did know.
Of course she did.
She fooled us because he asked me.
Oh, so tell us the whole story.
I didn't know about that part. Like, I didn't know it was gonna happen then, but like knowing me and like us, I was like, that if it's gonna happen at like a time, it will happen at that time.
Sure.
If it hadn't already.
Yeah.
But he was so nervous, and like I even doubted myself because like he didn't do it until after the very last song on the third night.
Oh, wow.
Because he was so nervous, and he kept saying like, I kept looking for the perfect song and like your favorite song, but like every song is your favorite song. So like I couldn't pick just one song. And he's like, and you kept having fun. And he was like trying to drag me back from stuff. And I'd be like, no, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I was just absorbed. So by the time he asked me, I was definitely second guessing myself. But yeah, you know, he did ask right after that last song. And no, it was not Where Are You Going?
I thought it was.
Nope, it wasn't.
Oh, I'm wrong.
It was not Where Are You Going? But I don't even remember. Like I forgot.
We can look it up.
We'll have to look it up.
But it wasn't like the closing song. It was like the 2 they did after that. It was after those. And it was like when the lights had come on because he was so nervous. He had moved us to like 3 different spots in the vicinity too, because he was in the facility, because he was like, will I do it here? Will I do it on the grassy knoll? And I'm seeing other people do it at the same time. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, is it their weekend or my weekend? Because I feel like it's my weekend.
Right.
And he finally asked. And I was like, you know what? This is perfect, though, because there is no perfection and he couldn't find it. Like, this was just appropriate. So I loved it. I loved it. And, like, it was just how it should be. So
I know that Christine is gonna show us some of her dance moves. So let's talk about that side of the wedding. Like, you kind of got down in front of everybody. Was it planned? Was it like just let's go? Like, tell us about this wedding dance.
So sweet. So it's hysterical because my son says to me, I've got to pick a song for us to dance to at the reception. I'm like, okay. And he said, I don't want to do it. You do it. Pick a Dave song or something. Just pick something. I said, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, You and Me Together. But he goes, that's kind of serious. And I said, okay, well, what about Sledgehammer? And and he's like, why not? So we found a guy that DJ'd their wedding, and we started with You and Me Together, and it morphed into Sledgehammer. Boom. And then we just went and got everybody to dance because we can't be serious that long.
No, and I love it. I love it.
Perfect.
So
it was just so relaxed.
If you ever go through Sledgehammer with me at a wedding, at a concert. Okay. You know, I'm gonna like open it for fruitcake.
Yeah, it was the same dancing.
Yes,
it was the same dancing.
But I had both of them. It was great.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Your dancing is, top of the line. I have to say that.
Well, the best part is I just don't care.
And but you know what? Honestly, I love watching people dance that really don't care because they really are kind of just like letting the music like get to their soul and it's just coming out, right? And so like, it's so pure. I love it. And some people go, oh my God, that person has like zero dance skills. It's not about putting on a show for you. It's about like them expressing like the way they're feeling, right?
I cannot tell you how many times me and my brother have looked over at our parents, maybe night 2, and they're both just unbeknownst to each other and everyone else and just getting it in. And I love it. It's the best thing ever.
I don't
Do you don't dance? You don't dance?
No, I dance. But
dance.
Like he gets down, but nobody sits. He's
saying
nobody.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
no, you cannot sit at a Dave Matthews Band concert.
That's
maybe if you tore your Achilles or like whatever, but
like,
and then you still have one good leg.
That's true. So you got to be kicking it, right? You got to be kicking it.
I can do it. I'm a scooter. Yep.
So guys, I think there's one more story that we have to tell before we close on this episode. And first, I just want to thank all three of you for doing this and kind of sharing your journey with the band. So I know that this past Christmas, there was like a special gift that maybe you were unaware of getting. And so who wants to tell us of like the whole story of like what happened? Okay, it's you, Christine.
I can vote it. Yeah, like it or not. So the concert, it was 2009. Sorry, the dogs are going insane. He's got to take care of it.
That's okay.
Oh no, apparently I need Kleenex. He's not. So the year, I think it was 2018, 19. Anyways, we were at the Gorge and I took a friend that I didn't anticipate would have as big of a problem in crowds as she did. Because, when you experience like your home venue, that's the Gorge for us. It's our home venue. Mm-hmm. Everything we just like, I love it. I want to share it with everybody kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so, got her going. We paid for her to go. We got, all of this. And she did not have fun. Mm-hmm. And then I knew, as we all know, when the posters drop, we know what's coming up.
Right.
And I saw that it was the Sperry and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go. And she's like, you're going to leave me here. And I said, no, I'm going to go in and go out. I had a burner ticket. I was ready to do that. And she got very angry with me. And she said, you know, a poster is more important than my mental health. And that just cut me to the core, you know, being a therapist. Of course, it would never be more important. Right. So, no, I didn't go. I missed it completely. And after that, there were a lot of things that happened. We had a huge falling out and, you know, whatever. But I was so sad about missing this poster.
It meant more.
It meant a lot. It was a lot. I don't even know how to explain that. Yeah. But, and then this year, the twin came up and I was like, oh, there will be no doubt I'm getting that. And I got that. And so I've been looking for it. And of course it's a grail. And so it's expensive. And every year, everybody asks me, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? And you know, moms, we're like, we're hard to
make the kids happy.
We're hard to buy for. Yeah, so I always know what I'm getting for Christmas. I always know. And so this year, of course, I throw out stuff randomly. I'm like, yeah, I want this, I want this, I want this.
You threw it out for months.
Let's be honest.
I wasn't subtle.
We were ignoring you.
Maybe I wasn't too subtle. But so yeah, I just kind of let it be. And where everybody's going to Europe, everybody's dumping all their posters. A couple of people had posted them, and I'm just like, I'm dying here. And my friend Kelly posted it, and I was like, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. And apparently, my child saw the post, and I actually had been downstairs in Suzanne's basement and was looking through her stuff, rifling through her posters. Yeah. And she had one. And I think I told Mark, I said, I think Suzanne has one. And I reached out to her. I says, hey, Mark might be getting older. And she said, I already sold it. I was like, shit, you know, I'm screwed. Right. So I never thought about it after that. And then I think Amanda reached out to Suzanne.
I did. Well, I had actually reached out to Kelly and Suzanne, like Suzanne first, and then she got me in touch with Kelly. The post that my mom's talking about is a total ruse because my mom's nosy and she knows what she's getting every single Christmas. So I had to straight up have a planter post on Facebook with Kelly where I'm like, hey girl, just follow me here.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Just throw her off the scent.
Of course.
So
anyway. I saw that she said, is this still for sale? And Kelly goes, no, sorry, I sold it. And I'm just like,
oh man. Oh no, you did it. Yes.
So me, Dad,
yeah, I had a little to do with it.
Of course.
Dad, definitely. We talked about it and we were like, let's just see if we can like get everybody to pitch in and get it for her. So like we were able to do that. Like our family, my brother, me, my husband, her friend Suzanne, her friend Karina, and then Kelly, of course, helped with everything. And we were able to get it to her for Christmas and just kind of close the gap and give my mama some closure.
Well, no, remember the shipping.
The shipping issue was the whole problem.
Yeah, the shipping was crazy. So what did you do?
We have a video of it. I don't know if she sent it to you. Did she?
Well, she did. And through the power of the internet, you can watch it on YouTube now, guys.
Yeah. and don't look at the prettiness of Christmas Day and the massive sobbing.
She looked cute. We were able to put into a bunch of boxes, my sister-in-law, myself, my husband, my brother. We put all these boxes together that had notes in them or rocks that said, oops, not this one, lead to the next, because we didn't have the actual poster yet because it was supposed to have been before but hadn't shown up. So we just wanted to make it fun for her to open, without being sad. So we planted an envelope of like a picture of her at the very, very bottom box. And that was what she got up to open. And it said coming soon on it. So she was
oh my God. Okay. Did you expect this at all?
Well, Mark just went and got tissue because he was afraid
Look
that
what
I would.
she did to the tissue. What are you doing?
She's so like emotional right now.
She was making a triangle.
That was the most fun. I've known this lady for a long time, and that was the most fun opening of Christmas present I think I've ever seen.
I've never been that surprised. And you know what? I talked to you after that, like a week after, and I was like sobbing. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I did. I felt loved.
You're loved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yes. So I see the girls are hanging up behind you. So this is another perk of watching this on YouTube, is you can see the girls as they were meant to be, looking, at towards each other. I mean, beautiful ladies. Oh, they're so pretty. I love them. You had them matted, like in the same color. You did a great job. They did a great job. It's beautiful. Yes. I love that story. I love it. And I love that they were able to surprise you, because I know that you were stalking that on Facebook. And so they were able to just kind of slide that underneath you, and you didn't think there was a chance. And then boom.
No.
Like,
I thought I would never even thought I would have gotten those, because I wouldn't spend that money on myself.
Of course.
There's no way.
Moms never do. What?
No,
but she deserves it.
Oh man, I love the story, and I love you guys. I love that, there's a story of love, obviously, but then there's like a story of something that you all have in common that is surrounded by love as well. So it's like layers of love. And so I love your guys' story. I thank you so much for being on the show, and so many people that you mentioned are friends of the show. Of course, Suzanne is a great friend of the show. Kelly is a great friend of the show. And so, it's a constant reminder of how many amazing people there are in the world. And I think there's never been a better time to be reminded of that, because every time we turn on the TV, there's just so many horrible, horrible things that are going on in this world. And there always will be. But I do want to remind everyone that there's a lot of beautiful things happening right now too. And this is just a small percentage. This is just a small story of a bigger picture of what's happening, all because of music. And I feel like that is an incredible story, and one that I'm going to continue to tell. So guys, thank you so much for telling your part of the story. Yeah, for sure. Yes. We've got some big things. So let's finish up this episode. Let's talk about 2024, because it's on the tip of everyone's tongues, and it's on everyone's computer screen as we savagely try to figure out how we can get to as many as possible, and also still pay our bills, right?
Yeah, because that's what I've been doing for the last week or so.
We're like, how can we make it work? How can we make it work?
How many miles do I have? How can I do this?
I know.
What's the hopper saying?
I know, right? There's so many tools, guys. If you have not really started your voyage with the Dave Matthews Band, and you're like, how the hell are all these people traveling? There are a lot of tips and tricks, and I'd love to do a show about that one day, of how to use those Hilton points, how to use those airline points, how to really. There is a system to all of this, and we're not spending millions of dollars to see these guys. We don't have it. I can promise you that. But there is a system to this. And so, guys, be sure to, I think that's something that we need to do one day, is a show about how fans can get through this without spending, $24,000.
I have one more story about that. Last year when we were at the Gorge, he had to run back to camp. And one of his tickets, it was not working. And I put out a text to multiple people and said, hey, if you have burners and you have Ticketmaster, will you dump them into my account? Yeah. Will you just do that? And they did. And he got back in.
So many people.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
Wild. It's so wild. So guys, just in the next few minutes, let's talk about 2024. What are some things that stuck out, on the day that it flooded the internet, and the fans soon after broke the internet when we were requesting our tickets? Yeah. What were your first thoughts? Like, what were you like, okay, I'm definitely doing this?
Well, mine was 1,537 miles to Noblesville, Indiana.
Yeah.
That would be a cool trip.
I'm down.
She loved it. And it sounds like a good time.
I mean,
that was my first thought.
It is nothing like having a concert in the middle of a cornfield. I love it.
No.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's so weird and so awesome.
Yes.
I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, and plus it's always like, I'll just speak briefly about my feelings when it comes to what we all call Deer Creek. And so that music venue used to be called Deer Creek. It is now just called like something more bank-like. I don't know what something.
I don't know, but I think everybody calls it the freaking creek one.
Everybody calls it Deer Creek. Nobody calls it anything else. And so, but they always do have a really great set list. And so for 2023, and I've said this and I'll keep saying it, I really do feel like that's where the tour shifted in 2023. But I think that historically, big things happen at Deer Creek. And so guys, you won't be disappointed if you go. It's a beautiful, it's a different kind of Americana, right? Like it is farmers. It is awesome. It is the heartbeat of America.
So cool.
It's so cool.
So cool. It's
so cool. I love it. And it's funny because people will hear us say that we're vacationing in Omaha, where Noblesville, Indiana, and they're like, what the fuck are you gonna do there?
Y'all gonna get your corn on?
Yes, I am. Hopefully get some cornbread. Yes. Anything else stick out in the 2024 for you guys?
Well, I'm going to do the Florida lake. Yes. We'll talk afterwards. I always need a good bed buddy.
Oh, hell yeah.
What is that? Is that Orlando, West Palm,
it's
Jackson?
Tampa, West Palm,
Tampa.
Jackson.
That's what it is.
Jacksonville, that's right.
Yeah, she needs to go to that. She's.
I mean, I love your support. I love the support that you give her.
Yeah.
Well, we really wanted her to go to Mexico because every year when she goes to Mexico, and she's not going this year, it snows so well on our ski hill.
Yeah.
So we wanted her to go to Mexico, but she's allowed to stay 1 year, I guess.
Yes. You've got some family things happening, and family comes first. It does all the time, and so you got your family stuff. So guys,
a really good grandma.
She is. She's a good grandma. She's a good mom. She's a good wife. She's a good friend. So we've got to keep her here for sure. And I'm so thankful that I got to meet you. It's funny because I met you in the backyard of one of my dear friends' house in Arkansas when the boys were playing at Rogers, which is my city in Arkansas. And so you showed up. You flew into Northwest Arkansas, which is this tiny. Hey guys. News break. I think we've upped it to a national airport now. We were regional, but now it's big. We're big now. We're big. So you flew into XNA, came straight to the party, and we're just like all half naked going, hey, thanks for coming. And that's how we met.
I was still peeling off like winter clothing layers because it was still cold here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then next thing you know, you stayed at my house. I had never met you before, but
wonderful.
I have a good vibe with you. And then, you just got in the back seat of my car and we just took on the United States. We were like, where can we go? And we did it. We did it all. We did it all.
Yes, we did. We did Nashville. Seriously.
We did Mississippi. Oh my God. That was
Mississippi.
Yeah, so that was the best show. We paid $30 for a pit ticket.
You guys are amazing. You have to do that.
Oh my gosh.
You have to do that segment.
That's my goal for next year is to be able to get in the pit at the Gorge. That is my 2024 goal.
I want you to have it. She'll get you in. She could get you in.
It's a different show.
You were in there. You've already had
it.
One time, and it's a different show, and I was glued to the floor, and I didn't care if anybody was with me. I cried.
There is a great photo of Amanda in the pit that Christine has to send you.
Yeah, I want it. I want all the pictures.
No, it's pretty cool.
Well, and then I got her and my friend Karina on their first rail in Nampa.
Oh wow! What did you think about that?
Amanda get to the pit. What was his name?
Oh, that was Marty and Chris.
Yeah, Marty. Yeah. Oh my God, I love them. Another good friends of the show, Marty McKinney and
Justin and Chris.
Justin and Chris, I love them all.
Yes.
And it's like I can't wait for tour season. Yes, for the music, but to see all of these people.
I love the people.
I love
the people.
I love them. They're like the brothers and the sisters that I never had, right? Like I have so many brothers and sisters now, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So guys, thank you so much for being on the show this week. Thank you for, kind of telling us how you found this band and why you still listen to them after so many years. And it's because they've been able to stay relevant. It's because the music is so good. And of course, because the community around them is really amazing too. So guys, thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough. And so guys, if you are listening to this on a podcast channel, just know that, again, you can watch this on YouTube and you can see all of the pictures and videos that they have sent us to kind of help on their visual story. But guys, if you have a story that you would like to share on this podcast, it's just as easy as reaching out to me on social media or emailing me at kissonthelippsmeyer@gmail.com. You cannot forget that email, right? Like it's so easy. kissonthelippsmeyer@gmail.com. Make sure that you are following us on me. I don't know why I always say us. I'm so inclusive. Follow my show. It's me. It's me. I don't know. I cannot give myself all the credit. I can't, because the show is about the fans, and the fans have showed up to tell their story. And every time I get to hear a new story, I just fall in love with this band so much more. So this show has been such a gift for me. It's a lot of hard work, but it is such a gift day after day. So thank you guys for just filling my love tank a little bit more and making me fall in love with this band. So guys, thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. Guys, stay tuned. Every Friday we have a new fan on to talk about their journey. But in the meantime, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band. Thank you guys.